Greetings, Game Master Player here with another Dungeon Master vlog. Now, last time I talked about how I'm making some changes and how I want to do things a little bit differently, and I've started working out some of the details with that. Like, for example, I want to speed things up a little bit. I don't want to fast track stuff, but I got to bring the fun back a little bit more. So I think I'm going to have a little bit more on the line of some mooks here and there, and a few things like that. I'm also looking through some other resources for ideas on magical items and things like that. I actually have a picture of several items that they found that are enchanted that I have to come up with actually for next game. So I'm working on that too. There's two suits of armor. One's a leather suit. One's looks like a half plate maybe. There's a helmet, a quiver, a pouch, a warhammer, and a sword. So far I've got the pouch figured out. I'm going to use that as a component pouch for spellcasters. You have to attune to it to have components for you. It will produce components for your spellcasting. If you have to consume the component, then the pouch ceases to function until a long rest, and then there's still a chance that if it's consumed, the pouch is also consumed. So that way it turns into, I want them just to have some basic spellcasting and things like that. And it can go then from one party member to the next as far as spellcasters are concerned. So little things like that. Then I'm looking at the possibility of also doing, beyond that, I'm also looking at the quiver. I'm going to have it's going to be the hunter's quiver. And there's going to be, I got an idea for that. That's, when the creature dies or the person dies or whatever dies from the arrows that are shot into it, the arrows return. So I've got that going for me. And then also the arrows will replenish up to a certain amount. Again, after a long rest, so many arrows will replenish every night basically. So I've got that going too. Again, little things, little details. And then I've got that. Oh, sorry, there's gauntlets too. Gloves, gauntlets. So I'm thinking about using the leather armor, so it gives natural resistance to the elements, but not specific attacks. Like, for example, when you have to make a saving throw for or you might take damage from dehydration because it's hot. Well, you have resistance to that, so actually it's you don't take as much damage, or you get a bonus. You get advantage on your saving throws for it, that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be advantage on saving throws for things like to avoid dehydration, to avoid hypothermia, stuff like that. So it's going to be good for the adventurers in general. And then the warhammer. No, I take that. Oh yeah, the warhammer will be a warhammer of vengeance. So you have to kill once you kill a target and cry out its name or its affiliation, basically, death to goblins or whatever it might be, then you get bonus to attack and everything, attack and damage on goblins until all of them in the area are dead, all of them. So it's gonna be a very combative item, but you have to be careful because it knows if it's within a certain area. So if there's a goblin that's hiding, you can't hurt anybody else with that warhammer or do anything else with that warhammer until everyone's dead. So, for example, if there's a spy in the group and somebody cried out for an affiliation, like death to this house, or those that follow this royalty line or whatever it might be, and there's a spy that weapon is good against that spy, and it knows that spy is there. The players don't know though, and it turns into a problem because the player needs to kill them still. Or at least bloody them with the warhammer. Or the spy has to get away. One of the two. So I got to create an area of effect for that. So I'm working on that too. I was thinking about having the half plate be half plate of might, so it gives a strength bonus for wearing it. And one of the reasons I'm thinking about that is because my paladin in the party, who can wear heavy armor, can't wear heavy armor because their strength's not high enough. So it's going to be one of those that you put the armor on, you have to, because you don't have the strength requirements for it, it takes you twice as long to don the armor. And twice as long to take it off. I'm gonna stick on that one. It's gonna take twice as long to put on, twice as long to take it off, because as soon as you take off one piece of the armor, you lose the strength bonus. Excuse me. So it makes it more difficult and unwieldy. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe I'll stick to it that way. That sounds like a plan. And then I've got the gauntlets, or the gloves, or / gauntlets, and those are going to be where I've decided that those are going to be for of proficiency or skill. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. And when you attune to the gloves or the gauntlets, the item you're holding, you become proficient with, as long as you can hold it with your gloves. So, for example, if it's a sewing kit and you need to be able to learn how to sew, you can do it. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. You can't hold a siege weapon, so you can't become proficient in siege weapons. Sorry. You can't. Certain things you can't hold magic, raw magic, so you can't become proficient in magic. But you can hold a suit of armor or a particular weapon, like a one-handed or two-handed weapon. But as long as you can carry it and attune to it, and in that time, you're fine. So, for example, since you can't forge weapons, you'd have to hold the anvil and everything else. Obviously, that's not going to fly. So certain toolkits won't fly. A thief's toolkit will, though. So, it adds flexibility to the party. So the gauntlets themselves don't do anything else. There's no other magic for them. So they just kind of look cool. So it's something you have to use with your hands. It's got to be an item that you have to use with your hands. So, so that sounds like a good idea. The helmet, I was going to work on being a helmet where it basically allows you to hold your breath or not have to breathe. And for swimming, diving, gases, whatever it might be, but there's a limit to it by your level in minutes plus your years of age in seconds. So it gives it some advantage to some older player characters. Not much though, not much. So you can be first level elf that's 100 years old. So it's 1 minute plus 100 seconds. So that's not too bad, right? That's pretty good. It gives them a couple of minutes with it, and a little spillover. It's not ridiculous, but again, that turns into something else that I'd like to be able to provide like that. So there is that too. Now I've got that going for me too. And the only thing I have left is the sword, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with the sword yet, because I want to do something a little bit different. I don't want to make it so... I don't want to make it, just like a +1 sword kind of a thing. So I'm still working on that one. I'm going to look at it a little bit more. I'm going to give some thought into it. So, and as soon as I start statting these out, I'm going to stat them out here probably today or tomorrow, and finish them off on the weekend. And then I will actually attach them to. I have to create maybe a Google Drive folder or something else like that, and start putting some of this stuff up. maybe I'll have a blog or an actual WordPress blog where I'll link my videos to, my DM videos to, and also my materials. I haven't decided yet. Please give me suggestions. Either tweet them to me or put them in the comments down below. So down below. That way I can get a better idea of what you all want and such like that. And if I need to start putting out some campaign notes, whatever it might be, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about taking all of my session stuff and turning it into a campaign that I can maybe, or an adventure set, whatever it might be, and selling it on the DM's Guild, maybe make a few extra bucks on it or something. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of need to get some artwork first. There's a lot more I need to do. I need to get some artwork. I need to get some lots of things. And once I get all that stuff, then I'll take it from there. But in the meantime, I'm going to work with what I have and excuse me, and do the best I can. When it's all said and done, I'll see what I can pull together, and maybe there's interest in it. I don't know. But this weekend is going to be, I gotta sit down with all my players. It's an actual game session weekend. Last weekend was not. I sit down with my players, talk to them about what I learned at doing Iron GM and things I need to change, things I need to do, and then also on top of that, try to fast track a few things and see what happens. But unfortunately, most of my group will be unavailable, which is a big pile of suck. Because I've got so much I want to try to get done, and now I'm going to be down to less than half of my group. By my calculation, I'm losing at least, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be at least 4 people down. To my knowledge, I'll be at least 4 people down. I will have 3 people there. Ooh. Hey, it's no big deal. I said I can run with whatever group. I'm going to make it work. The group themselves will have to determine whether or not they want to move forward and what they want to do, because I'm not going to dumb down the monsters. I'm not going to make it easier for them. It's just I'm going to make it as it is. Excuse me. And I've always said that. I've always there's parts in the story that I'm not going to change the challenge rating because the players, some players didn't show up. I'm not doing that. What I am doing is I have there's areas and things that they can do. Like the next step is to kill goblins. Not a big deal. I can have them kill goblins. 3 people. I've got a cleric, a wizard, and a rogue. I'm pretty sure we can do some massive damage and kill some goblins. Burning Hands will do a good job. Beyond the normal like Ray of Frost and whatever else little stuff, but like Burning Hands will kill a bunch of goblins, and Magic Missile and everything else. And the wizard himself also is pretty tough and can wield a sword and such like that. He's got a finesse sword right now. He's using a scimitar, believe it or not. Actually, it's a cutlass. I'm just using scimitar stats. Keeping it simple. It's a curved blade. Curved blade with a curved blade. But he has finesse. And believe it or not, with his proficiency bonus, not with his proficiency bonus, but with his dexterity bonus, it's almost as good as being proficient. So it's a +1 difference right now than using a weapon he's proficient with. But he gets to use a sword. So, so I'm kind of working on that a little bit. Because he can already use a longsword. That was something that we changed on the character. So you can use a longsword already. But that's something new. So he's got a sword, and that's fantastic. So again, we'll take it from there, and we'll see what happens. And got a bunch of people like some missing. So it's gonna make it really, really difficult and frustrating and everything else. So phone call. Gotta reject it. I'm driving. Sorry. So I've got that I gotta worry about, and but still, goblins. I think the party will still move forward a little bit. They might miss a few pieces. They might miss a few things, and we'll just take it from there. So, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I need to probably cut this a little short, and the rain's starting to pick up again. I don't want it to get really bad, and I will let you know as things go through and things go by about what happens and in the next adventure or this next session, and see what I can do, and again make it with my changes and stuff like that. I've got a lot of changes. I want to change the game, make it a little bit more exciting and a little more fun for everybody. So that's the goal. If I can do all that and still accomplish my story, we'll see. I'm growing, changing, and we'll see what we can do about it. Okay. So thank everyone for watching my video, and I will talk to you all about weapons and armor and goblins and everything else that goes with that in the next video, and how things are progressing with my changes. So I'll see you next time.